Hi, I'm Kelsey Colwell, and I am on day 8 of our COVID quarantine. And to be really transparent, I'm feeling discouraged today. In our previous videos, people have commented all these amazing, nice things and said, Kelsey, you're so strong and you're handling this so well and you're so positive. And don't get me wrong, we will choose to handle this the best we can. But on the inside, I'm just human like the rest of us. I'm feeling scared and lonely and stressed and overwhelmed and discouraged. And today I realized the truckload of emotions finally hit me. And I started asking myself why. And I began to realize that things I'd gone through in my past, the emotions I felt this week, started bringing some of those back. When I felt lonely this week, I remembered how lonely it felt when I lost my first husband in a drowning accident in my early 20s. Those emotions came flooding back. When our kids were so sick and I was afraid. I was starting to get really concerned. It reminded me of when our youngest in the first year of his life slept in an upright apparatus because his breathing issues were so severe we didn't know every morning when we walked in if he'd still be with us or not. When I felt confused, oh my gosh, I remember my second husband as a military veteran got exposed to something and over the years just really lost some significant parts of his personality and his cognitive and physical abilities. And it was the most confusing journey. And I felt those emotions coming back this week. I felt helpless this week. And it reminded me of 10 months of tons of seizures that doctors couldn't explain, and I had no control over my body. I realized I had a lot of stuff from my past flooding back as I'm feeling the craziness of this week. And I started thinking about how many people are out there. We all have past, we all have histories, we all have had stressors and traumas in our background. And how many of us are feeling that? Oh my goodness. And the beautiful thing is I'm 2 days fever free. Yes. My kids are finally starting to round the corner and we're seeing some improvement in breathing. That's amazing. They're all on steroids, so they're bouncing off the walls and it's a crazy journey locked in this house right now. But I just started going, oh my goodness, a lot of the emotion we're seeing on Facebook or we're hearing from people, whatever, people are probably feeling a lot more things than just COVID. People are probably feeling the loneliness they've been walking through. People are probably feeling the stress of their job if they're a grocery worker or a truck driver right now or a nurse. My goodness. People are also living life still. So what other health problems are people going through, or what, losses are they grieving? Or man, this is a complicated time, right? And I just started really thinking about how we're all feeling. And how much, for me this week, this stressor drained me. And I'm just feeling a ton of emotion today. And it made me go, wow, we are really going to have to pay attention to somehow finding health and a space of peace in the middle of all of this. Because, and I'm going to use the big P word, the pandemic word, it's going to be a whole nother pandemic when we try to go back to some sort of normal and we all go back empty and hurting and struggling to function. So for me, I went back to my 3 questions I asked myself. How am I doing in my physical health, my emotional health, and my spiritual health? Those might look very different for you than they look for me. You might ask yourself different questions than that. Physically, I took a shower today. That's right. My hair's wet. I was like, I need a minute to just be a human being and clean up. It seems simple, but it made a difference. I spent some time emotionally, like letting myself feel it all and process it all. For me, we're a huge faith-based family, and I spent some time today with the God who's my best friend and who I know loves me. that's honestly the main thing that's gotten me through all the crazy things that's happened in my past. I don't know what health looks like for you, but I just want to encourage all of us today to find spaces to get healthy, find pockets. I know many of you are going through the nuttiness of it. My coworkers in the financial institution industry who are working so hard to make sure people are still supported on that end of the coin as they're going through crazy things in their own financial situations. I know there's a lot going on, but we've got to find ways to be healthy and get healthy in the middle of all this. I know for me, one of those is people, the connections I have with people, the people who encourage me, the people who remind me to take care of myself physically, the people who tell me I'm normal for feeling my emotions, my friends who send me amazing worship songs or remind me how great God is in spite of the psychoness. For me, those are huge things, and I'm reminding myself to do those things for others. So send a text message today, post a positive Facebook message, post a positive Facebook comment, get a little deeper in your comments to each other, see people, value people, help them feel like they're not in it alone. And let's just be gracious to each other as we walk it out, right? Reach out to somebody today. Find some space to be healthy. Find what makes you feel peace. Find what makes you feel refreshed. And let's make sure we don't walk out of this struggling so much that we've created an even bigger, longer lasting issue. Let's help each other, and let's find spaces to make sure we're healthy enough to help each other.